Greetings, folks. Greetings, family. Today I come to you to make a nice little, food for thought video. Um, Life is not as bad as it could be. I mean, it's pretty bad for some people via problems and civil unrest and things like that. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm always counting down the days into November, especially this year with all the things that have been going on. I also try to keep it in perspective that no matter who wins, and I want y'all to think about this, no matter who wins, there's a large possibility of civil unrest happening. No matter who wins, no matter what happens, if Trump gets reelected, or if Biden gets elected, technically reelected, I see radical right and left right now. And this is one of the reasons why I am glad I'm running for sheriff, because you want somebody who can see both sides, who can understand both sides of, both of these wings. One bird flying. Both need each other if you think about it, but divided, they become left and right, blue and red, however you want to look at it. Some things are incorrect morally, and it's good that you stand against those. And it's also good that you represent your free speech. And I'm taking the time out with my free speech right now to share with you that I think no matter what happens in November, people are going to be pretty upset either way you look at it. The people who work for a living and the people who are protesting for a living. All the signs are there. All the telltale signs are there to, to be seen. And I'm really just hoping and praying that things just shift in place so that way the people who aren't necessarily who want to fight, who aren't looking for a fight, get caught in it, like it's happening already with protesters who are pulling guns on people driving down the street, blocking roads. That's a bit aggressive, guys. Your free speech is welcome. Your aggression is not. Okay. Nobody here would like it if they were at the other end of the aggression. I don't care what side you're batting for right now. No one would like to have a gun pulled on them at random time, driving down the road, just trying to get some groceries or trying to feed their kids or just trying to go to work, trying to mind your own business. That's not cool, man. That's not correct. That's not what the Second Amendment was for. You guys are abusing it. It's good to see you carry on your hip, but it's not cool to pull it on random people who have nothing to do, who have no clue as to what's going on. And yeah, I support BLM lowercase, of course, like like everything else, but the capital letters, man, the organization, no, man, they've been responsible for so many black deaths right now. You'd be a fool to be a part of that right now, and to have all that money accumulated and not $1 being spent on any of the families who have lost kids, who have lost loved ones because of civil unrest, because of lack of law enforcement. If you really wanted to, yeah, that's how Fidel Castro won. I'm gonna just keep it real with you, not to give you an idea, but give you an idea. Whenever they came into a place, they had funding. I'm not a big old fan of Fidel. Trust me, I'm not a huge component or fan of communism. But how he won Cuba was by the hearts and minds, but always giving and always having money to give when something or something to give to the people. Upon him conquering it, I mean, look at it now. It's a freaking mess now. But I'm just saying, it was a strong strategy to take over a situation. You don't, personally, if I was funding riots or having organization things happen, I would, be able to, I would put money into the people who were casualties of a protest or a riot that I helped put together. You know, I would put like a GoFundMe or put some of those monies towards some of those family members who were lost. You know, that's just my observation. If I'm, you know, calling myself Black Lives Matter, I would be really proactive about what's going on in the Black community, such as the radio station that's always capitalizing on, you know, the glorification of Black death. I mean, if it matters to you so much, why don't you protest against that? I mean, I'm willing to come out for a protest against that any day of the week. You say a protest against the media, protest against the radio stations and all the violent music they're playing and the narrative that they're painting to try to start a civil war. You know, hey, let me know. I'll be glad to come to something like that to speak out and to speak on the behalf as a private person, not a member of the New Mexico Civil Guard, but just as a person, as a member of the Black community. Yo, for real, I do have a huge uh, encyclopedia of things to explain in regards to media, because that's what I used to work in before all this craziness happened with COVID, you know. And I was working with Idris Elba on the film, and then that whole thing, you know, still got paid, whatever, but nothing else happened. And so I was like, okay, whatever. But still, I got a lot to say about those kind of things, and I can make a whole video of experiences that I've experienced, even just in my you know, almost taking off phase in the Hollywood thing, which I'm kind of glad it didn't, because now I think about it, I'd rather use my face and persona to bring about a real peace and not just to help distract. You know, I may pick up movies again, sure, after all this, you know, sheriff business and all the, you know, if I get elected, and I'll just, you know, push it back even a few more years or do it on the side, whatever. But I love my arts, man. You know what I'm saying? And I do love the art scene, the liberal art scene. And we have artists everywhere, man. You don't have to say liberal to be messing with people saying liberal, but it's a free expression to be an artist, you know. And the fact that I'm more of a conservative now, um, sheds a light on my real true reflection of how I feel inside. I feel like family is always first and family's on the forefront. But I'm not here to talk about politics. That's not what this video is about. I want y'all to pay attention to the dynamic. Look at how people on the far right get so mad when somebody at a sporting event decides to take a knee. You're a fool for going against the Constitution when you talk against other Americans expressing their constitutional right. You're a fool. And on the other side, you see people getting so mad about people walking around with their guns and their firearms. If they ain't doing nothing, why are you worried about them with their firearms? You're a fool to talk against the Constitution. You're a fool to talk against somebody's freedoms right now, because that is the game that's being played on you that you cannot see. And as your sheriff, I will make sure I will do my due diligence to say, hey, look at how people are reacting. That's going to make them vote in this direction, which later they go back the other direction. Don't be baited and switched, okay, y'all? Like, do not be caught up into the sensationalism or into the emotional outcries or the small box that your media outlet shows you, and they're looking for more and more heinous things to throw at you to get you to react. It's called Jonestown. Look it up. I'm not making this up. That was the experiment, and they're still running it in America. You know, I'm just being honest. If you're not paying attention to what's going on in your country right now, you will take a side and pick up arms and ready to shoot somebody with a different opinion. No, how dare you speak against the Constitution? The Constitution gives you the right to hold a gun and to speak freely and to be left alone to do such. And you are trying to hinder that from somebody else. You don't have to like what they say. But if you give them a violent reason to respond, then you're going to condemn them for responding. And then you all, whoever which side sees it unfit for the other side to have guns or to have free speech, all you end up doing is hindering your own self later. So let it go. Let them talk. Let people talk and let them get it out their chest. And if everybody's really behind it, the votes will show. The real true voting strategy will show. You don't have to mess around with the with the votes. I almost cursed. You don't have to mess around with the voting strategy. You just let it be what it is, and then boom, if that's what it is, then that's what it is, and we ride it out and we work it. You know, we don't sit here and try to take freedoms from people to make votes go other directions or this way or that way. That's wrong, man. To just play upon somebody with lies. And shame on you, media, for doing such a thing. And that's exactly what has people in the streets rioting, has people in the streets, protesting to rioting. It has people arming themselves, protect themselves from the protesters and rioters, and then they get condemned for protecting themselves. That means you won't be able to protect yourself the day people come to your home. Fool. Pay attention to what you're talking about. Pay attention. Just pay attention. Why do you think rioters and protesters are moved from one place to another? So they can care less about where they're doing things. It's the reason why there's military, and then the military industrial complex, which was very corrupted before this administration, and who knows what parts could still be. Why they would have people invade other countries, because you have no connection to another country, and even another country that could be in alliance with the country that is trying to invade another one. And that's what the whole mercenary business is. So don't be a free mercenary for some narrative that you don't even know the whole picture of, and even then, so if you gotta be violent, may it be in your own self-protection. You got to attack somebody. If you have that much distrust in your judicial system, then that's another conversation that needs to happen. Maybe that's why we're, a lot of 3%ers are going ahead and getting a part of political parties, left and right, because they understand that the Constitution is the most important representation of freedom on this world that everybody from all over the world comes to. And they can sit here and speak bad about it because you know what? It's their right to do. And we love that about this place. If you lived anywhere else, you'd get your ass maybe shot, maybe beat, maybe put down like a dog, a rabid dog, if you spoke against the government, spoke against anything considering itself to be a regime. You can talk bad about the president all day out here. Please, I encourage you to even talk bad about me on my own videos, because you know what? Cool. That's your free speech. And if I say anything outside of, thank you for your free speech, cool. I may delete stuff that says that's like racist or borderline, kind of like super disrespectful. I don't, that's just, nobody wants to see that. You know what I'm saying? So I just say, try to keep it respectful, even if you disagree with me, so we can keep the, I want to see just respectful, conversation happen, so that way we get somewhere, not just this cancel culture of dismissal. This is grow up time, And another thing too, I want to make a very clear point. If you want to sit through here and listen, the people who are out there protesting and rioting and doing things in other cities for payment or kickback of some kind, or the same kids who got unchecked or didn't have their dads around. No offense. I'm sorry. I'm not disrespecting anybody at a single parent, single mama household. But I've noticed there's a very low percentage of them having fathers around, or they're very rebellious kids, or they didn't have somebody, a strong hand of discipline, raise them up as a child. And the people on the other side who want to protect their businesses, who want to protect their way of life, they did have, not necessarily saying they had a conjoined home, but they had a father figure of some kind to show them discipline and right and wrong. And it's just what I've noticed just within my own observation of taking it all in through my feed. If you see different and you think different, please by all means comment below. And thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry I make these videos so long, but there's a lot of stuff going on, y'all, and I really don't want shots fired and all that, because we have differences of opinions, because it's not going to affect the higher ups, the people you don't like. It's not going to affect left and right. If shots get fired, it's not going to affect the powers that be, that are whoever you're rooting for. It's not going to affect them. Okay, so value your life more than just shots being fired because someone has differences of opinions. Value life more than the payment given to you, because payment is just payment. You'll lose it. It's not worth the losing of a life because of a difference of opinion. If you really value your opinion, then you'll make sure you have people who value your opinion behind you, and then you can get it put into place, so that way we all accept it, whether the minority of us don't like it and the majority of people do. And that's why there's a voting system. That's why there's in America. That's why there's the freedom of speech. That's why we can go on and on and on. Sorry for that little extension, but hey, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your comments, y'all. For real, free speech is is my jam, and so y'all appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's get it in, y'all. Let's make this peace thing happen. Peace.